Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, Dr. Tawana Worlds by birth, also known as a disruptor. Did you know that millions who grow up in poverty also die in poverty? Have you ever heard the saying, what good can come out of the hood? Well, I'm here to disrupt for just a minute. Yes, I was that little girl that grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, single mother, absent father, eating out of the trash can just to survive. But I was also that girl that determined way back then that I was not going to become a product of my past. And now I help others do the same thing. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I help men and women from similar backgrounds find value in their own vault and create wealth from within.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. If you don't mind on this evening or tonight, wherever you are joining me from on this morning, if you don't mind sharing, I'm going to take just a few moments to share this out. To some other platforms. And why I am doing that, I'm asking you to share because tonight is going to be another powerful night. Okay. It is going to be another powerful night. So, good evening to everyone. And God bless you to you all. And I am asking you while we listen to these tones, get warmed up, and I share to some other platforms that you would do me a favor and share. Help me fish by sharing. You never know who the message will reach. You never know who the message will change. You never know who the message will empower. And a share don't cost nobody nothing, right? We can all agree to that. That's something we can all do for free. A share is for free. So please do that. I'm going to let this play real quick. 1 second. Yes. I can slow down. Hello, hello. Let me know where you're joining from on tonight. Let me know where you're joining from. Hey, yeah. I forgot that I had my hair in a ponytail. Hey. Man, the first lady got a first lady on a playlist. I'm tripping. We too blessed. Yeah. What's up, brother? What's up, brother Antonio? Hello, hello, hello. Let me know where you are joining from on tonight. Let me know where you are joining from on tonight. Hey, gotta shine now. Honey bands. Okay, okay. Got it. Hey. And it's lit. Yeah. Got a dip. Yeah. Maryland in the house. Yeah. Coming down. I'm a grow. Yeah. That's parents. Mississippi in the house. What's up? What's up? Oh yeah, hey, that's what's up now. I ain't got something no flip now. Yeah, been down, but I'm up now. Yes. What's up, y'all? Instagram, what's up? What's up? Let me know where you are watching or joining this live from on tonight. And turn the tunes down. Dallas, Texas. Willie said Dallas, Texas. Okay. All right. Dallas, Texas in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful people, how are you all doing? If you are just joining me live on tonight, I ask that you would so kindly share. You never know what a share will do for somebody, how much it will help somebody, how much it will change somebody, strengthen somebody, encourage somebody. We all know at this time, in this hour of time or this dispensation of time, many people have similarities, right? And what's that similarity? A lot of people don't know what's to come, what's going to happen, what's going on. Most people don't even know what's going on. So um, I'm coming by just to encourage. This is episode number 2, from poverty to prosperity. If I can get my own title out, that might be all right. But from poverty to prosperity, this is the second episode. Your girl's brain tonight, and that's what I love about just authentically being who you are, is that you ain't got to be up here all perfect, right? It is what it is. It's have a seat with Dr. T on tonight. I've been grinding. I have been working. I have been putting in the muscle on today, and my brain is catching up. It's just trying to stay afloat on tonight. So this is the second episode. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the other platforms that I'm streaming live to. This is the second episode of From Poverty to Prosperity. And as I stated on last week, that poverty could be a form of anything that keeps you imprisoned or in bondage. It can be a poverty mindset. It could be poverty in your finances. It could be poverty in your belief system. It could be poverty in, self esteem, friendships, relationships. Poverty just means that you're no longer residing in you, that there is a spirit that comes to ruin you that is dwelling on the inside of you and causing you to not be prosperous. Okay. So this is the second episode, and we are going to be talking about dun, 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 the mindset on tonight. The mindset on tonight. How many of you guys know, as a man thinketh, so is he? That not only are your words powerful, but your thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts are so very powerful. You actually have, live right now, experiencing right now what you thought about. Most people don't know that you have to see it before you see it. I want y'all to type that into the chat. I got to see it before I see it, right? And I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples of what I mean. Some of you guys saw yourself, if you are married before you got married. You knew and you followed that path. I know I'm wife material, or husband. If you a brother, I know that I got a rib and all this other side dishes and side chicks and friends with benefits. That's not my path because I see me being married. So I'm going to stick to the path that will lead me to my God given spouse. So you saw yourself married before you were married. You saw yourself graduating high school or college or getting the degree before you even got it. And the reason why you got the degree, the reason why you got married, the reason why you have what you saw is because you saw it first. Is everybody with me? If you with me, just say I'm here. Y'all know I like interaction. And if you new to the stream, if you new to the live uh broadcast here on tonight, if you're new to listening to myself, Dr. Tawana Worlds, I have not even introduced myself because I just assumed everybody know me, but I did ask everybody to share. And so if you don't know me, please beg my pardon. My name is Dr. Tawana Worlds. I am the CEO and founder of the Pioneers Power Circle, where we help you find the value in your vault and create wealth from within. And this is a TV show of mine called From Poverty to Prosperity. And I've shared my story. I may even recap if you are new listening to my story. I'll wrap it up in 1 to 2 minutes, I promise, or less. And then I'll continue on. So I come from a very impoverished background. I was raised by a single mother. My father was in prison the majority of my life. It was very, very hard for my mother to take care of us. We were on welfare, food stamps, assistance. We were homeless the whole 9 yards. I used to have to eat out of garbage cans. And then that went from eating out of garbage cans, going to the restaurants and looking to see what food was thrown away just so that we can eat. And then that went from that to going into Kmart and stealing clothes to sell them to people to make money. And it went from that to writing checks to buy stuff that I can go back to the hood and sell. So I've come from a very impoverished background. Um, I inherited poverty because my mother was poor. She was in poverty. So I inherited that poverty mindset from my mama. My surroundings, what I grew up in, and then I in turn passed that down to my children. So they inherited poverty because of my lack of knowledge, because of, me accepting poverty as this is my lot in life. And it wasn't until my son passed away that I broke up and totally divorced poverty. And the only reason why I say that is because had I been in a position financially to put my son in a school that would have catered to his learning style, then of course I'm sure he would still be here. But because I was so poor and all I could offer my kid was public school, they pressured me into giving my son medication. Not only did they pressure me into giving it to him because I said no, but they also took it another extreme, took it to the greatest extreme to me, because that's why he's no longer here with us, and threatened to remove my other children out of my household, bullied me because I was single, bullied me because I was poor and I didn't know any better, and convinced me to make my son take this medication Monday through Friday, and then had me blood testing him as well to ensure that he was uh, on this medication, would eventually ended up killing him. So when my son died, poverty and myself, it was over with. I had nothing else to give up to poverty, nothing, and I still don't. So it's from poverty to prosperity because it wasn't until I, thought about divorcing this, and this is the cause that I can't be mad at nobody but this demon called poverty. I can't be mad at nobody. And that is the day that I decided, like, you have dates of your accomplishments when you graduated. I have a date, April 18th, 2018 was the day that I divorced poverty. Okay. And in doing so, that came with a whole bunch of other strings that was attached. So I went for the root of it, but I went for the root cause, poverty. But there was still branches and things of that sort that was still attached that needed to be broken off, and that was my mind, and that is the majority of our mindsets is what keeps us in lack and in want, and that's what I want to talk about on tonight. Want to share on tonight how I actually gradually went from poverty to prosperity. It was not an overnight thing, because if it had been an overnight thing, I would have lost it all, literally, because my mindset wasn't changed. Even though the divorce was signed on the dotted line, we are over, this is it, I still had to renew my mind, because I still had the same impoverished thoughts. I still had the same impoverished beliefs. So the very first thing was I had to fix my credit. That was the very first thing. If anybody know me in times past before that in the flesh, they will tell you, when it came to me talking about credit, it was like as if it didn't exist. It was like, I don't care. My credit score is so low, it probably doesn't even register. So whenever the debt collectors, I got accustomed and comfortable to people calling my phone saying, hey, you owe this debt, you owe that debt, can you make a payment on this? I mean, that was my life. And um I had a speech or a script for them when they called. Hello, is Tawana there? Nope. So now I'm engaging in lying. I'm engaging in not being honest. Is Tawana there? No, she's not here. May I take a message? And then if they kept calling me consistently, then I would have to say, well, you know what? Bill it to the Antichrist. How about that? As long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. Go ahead and charge that off to the Antichrist. And it was not until I had been praying for a very long time pertaining to our nonprofit organization for funding so that we could do more to help people. It wasn't until this opportunity presented itself after years of praying for it. It wasn't until this one opportunity presented itself where I could be able to go and get the vehicles that was needed to transport the clients that we were transporting, the funding, everything that I needed. The opportunity presented itself. And so I felt all overconfident and cocky. I'm not going to lie to you. Because one thing about it was I ruined my personal credit, but I had fear of God to ever anything that He entrusted me with to mess it up. So I never ran credit on the nonprofit organization, none of that. It had its own computer. We were not surfing the web on the computer that was dedicated to the nonprofit. We had to have another. So I kept everything separate. So here I am thinking that, oh, yes, my business credit, the nonprofit credit is the bomb because they got to run a credit check. And I'm like, the nonprofit credit it's lit. So yes, we ready to go. Where do I sign? And because the nonprofit had not made $1 million in a year, they needed a PG. Anybody know what a PG is? I'm sure a couple of y'all do. I just want to know. I'm getting in y'all mind tonight, okay? We exercising this muscle called the brain on tonight. Anybody know what a PG is? Since I wasn't bringing in $1 million in revenue in the nonprofit, they needed a PG. If you know what that is, type it inside of the chat. A personal guarantor. A personal guarantee, which means if the nonprofit organization is not able to pay us our money back, yes, then guess who got to pay it back? We need somebody. We need an asset. So we need a PG, a personal guarantor. Y'all don't ever forget that if you did not know that. So, excuse me. So when they said that, my eyes got super big. And I'm sitting right next to the lady who made the connection for me to be able to get the resources that I needed. And I'm sitting next to her and I'm trying to play it off like I'm panicking in the inside because I know that my credit is shot out. So I already know it's a denial. And I'm trying to process all of this at a rapid pace and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get around it, how I'm going to lie about it, how I'm going to change up something. And at that moment, I had to look at her and say, you know what? My credit ain't probably worth anything. It really isn't. My credit is not worth anything. And she was like, well, just go ahead and apply anyway. It ain't going to hurt to apply. I already knew they would not even approve me for a fingerhood card. My credit was so bad. So I already knew they were not going to fool with me. But to save face, I went on ahead and I did it anyway. Now, they denied me. And at that moment, when they denied me, she was like, well, we're going to have to start and start getting you some trade lines and building your credit. And so I sat there in that moment and I had to take that in. It was the realest reality check I ever had. Because even though, like I said, I had confessed out of my mouth that me and poverty was over with, the reality of it was still my credit and everything else about my life declared that I was poor. And as I sat there in that chair, I heard the Holy Spirit speak to me and say, you cannot represent a rich God with a broke mind. And the first thing I had to take the initiative of was repairing that. He said, I said, a good name is far better than any rubies, any diamonds. A good name is better than any of that. He said, and then he started giving me a lot of scriptures. The wicked borroweth and they don't pay it back. So just hearing that wicked borroweth, I mean, it really done something to me. And I had to take the initiative to right the wrongs that I did. No, the Antichrist was not paying off my debt. I don't even know where I got that from. My mindset was messed up. So I don't even know where I had gotten that from, but I had to take charge of my mind that, you know what? I need to fix this. And I prayed that day. I said, you're right. If you can help me and lead me to the right people, because I didn't try Lexington Law and that wasn't working for me. It didn't work for me 2 times that I tried it. But if you can lead me to the person, and lo and behold, like the next day, somebody in my news feed didn't even sell anything credit related, just asked the question pertaining to your financials, something like, um if you can have $1 million, would you take 1 million or a 650 credit score? And a lot of people in the comments like $1 million. I'm like, yeah, $1 million. But that wasn't the right answer. Most people who had a wealth mindset took the 650 credit score because they already know with that I don't need $1 million. With a 650 credit score, I can get anything that I want. So I reached out, I signed up for her program, and I started taking the initiative. I said, look, I need you to help me get off everything that's obsolete, everything that is, outdated, over 7 years, been sold to another agency, another company. I need you to help me get that off. But in the process, the Holy Ghost said it again. You ripped off those people. That's your debt. So instead of you trying to make them take it off and delete it, take the cheap way out, go ahead and call them and settle it. So I settled what I needed to settle, and whatever else was on there, erroneous and just negative, whatever the case may be, they deleted that and I got my credit up. So then when I was able to get my credit up, I was able to actually leverage my credit, my new good credit now, to educate myself. And the first program that I got into was Grant Cardone, 10X. No, it's not. Take that back. Sorry. First program I got into, I still didn't have the money, but I had credit. And the reason why I didn't have the money is because I was now, let me backtrack a little bit. Let me backtrack. Let me show you something real quick. After I saw this post pop up and I reached out to the young lady and she said, yeah, I do know credit repair and I got a program you can join. Guess what the first thing my mind said? The very first thing my mind said, this poverty mentality. I was like, well, how much that's going to cost? And she said $89 a month. I was like, Yeah. See you later. Income tax time. I know I'm talking to somebody right now. It's like, see you later, income tax time. Yeah. Peace out. I ain't got no $89 to spare. Poverty mindset. I divorced poverty, but I wasn't making any movements to that indicated that we were divorced. I was still in bed with poverty in my mind. So after that, I hung up and I said, yeah, well, I'll hit you back later. And the Lord spoke to me and said, you got $89 a month. I said, actually, I don't. He said, I want you to log into your online statement and I want you to scroll through your transaction history. And I only want you to tell me how much you done spent eating out just this week alone. Because Olive Garden for 2 spaghetti dinners with some rolls, and a piece of baked chicken with some meatballs. So every bit of $60. And that was just in one day. What about when y'all went to Golden Corral after service and spent $80? That's your $89 right there. And that's how the Lord dealt with me at that moment. Like, I need you to go see where the money is at. It's in your look through your transaction history. And that's where I found it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Excuse me. I can, cut back on eating out. That'd be my $89. I hit her back up. I signed up. It was all gas, no breaks from there. So then I was able to not only sign up to get my credit repaired, but I'm a person that like to see my money come back. And they had an opportunity where I could advertise the company and get paid to do so. And if I got, a team of people and I began to, utilize my Facebook, because that's all they wanted me to do. Utilize your social media and your network and let them know about our company, and we'll pay you to do that. And so I began to get money in coming from that. And that was able to help me pay my bills, help me help my husband pay the bills. But I now had, my credit is getting on track. In the first 45 days, I had 70 something point increase. So that took me from a 549 credit score all the way up, no, from a 459 credit score, excuse me, to like a 570 or a 560 was something like that. 89 point increase within the first 45 days. It was over from there, literally over. So I started utilizing my credit and I started investing in my mind. I can't say it no other way. It was not in education. It was just in my mind. And the first time I began to um, listen, just listen to what some of these mentors had said, especially pertaining E.T. the hip hop preacher. He's a believer. So he used scripture. And I'm like, wow, we were told to lend and never borrow. We were told to lend and never borrow. That was our portion, that you shall lend to many and never borrow. And that hit me. You supposed to be creating money. You ain't supposed to be going to nobody asking nobody for no money. You're supposed to be creating the money. Why? You have the power to get wealth on the inside of you. And then it just all began to like, fall in place. It was clicking. Like, man, wait a minute. I've been going and giving my talents and my gifts to work a job that's going to make me work another job, that'll have me working another job and another job just to afford the lifestyle that I want to give to my family. And I'm using my gift to build their empire. I'm using my time. I'm using my talents. And it just all began to click. like, wow, what do I have on the inside of me that could that ain't gonna take a whole year to get paid. That ain't gonna take a whole long strenuous process. What do I have on the inside of me? And like I said, that was the first step with getting the credit, right? And then the second step was, of course, educating my mind. But guess what? I still was holding on to certain programs that kept me limited. Certain programs, such as housing authority. You want to divorce poverty, but you own a program that makes sure you don't make over a certain amount or you don't qualify for their program. So the Holy Spirit was like, I need you to give that up. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I beg to defer. I've had this since my son was born. 18 years. You want me to give this up? I'm paying $82 worth of rent. You want me to give this? It's going to keep you limited. You ain't going to never be able to make more than that threshold, or they will kick you off the program. And then what? So I had to give that up. I had to give up the limiting beliefs. I had to give up the food stamps, which came in handy. I'm not going to cap. The bad boys came in handy. They fed us for years. But you already know you limited to what you can make on those programs. And if you make more, you can go to prison. And prison is not made for your girl Dr. Tawana Worlds. I don't care what nobody say. Prison was not made for me. And that was just a hefty fine to pay for trying to, keep $82 worth of rent. No Swayzer. It's not happening. So, food stamps included. So I had to give those things up. And I had never, when I tell you guys, I had never brought my own groceries before, not cash. Now, there were times when the food stamps ran out and I had to use a little dalalas to, you know, um, make ends meet, but never had I ever had to go inside of the grocery store and buy my food for the whole entire month with my children. That was all new. Neither had I ever had to pay over $200 in rent. Never. I never ever, but I needed to experience that in order to make my divorce final. I said it, I meant it in my heart. Now I needed to relieve myself or break free of everything that was keeping me bound to that lack mentality, that lack spirit. So guess what? I had to see myself. And that was not easy. I'm not going to say it was easy, but I promise you, I would do it 1,000 times again and again, because what God showed me on the other side is that I had limited myself for so many years. And when I finally started taking the initiative to be honest, to be upright, to be, you know, uh, accountable, to make sure that I was investing in my mindset, making sure that my mind growed up, because I didn't have a grown mind. I had a lack mind. I had somebody owed me something mind, because I grew up so poor. Even you, God, owe me something because you put me through poverty. Hello, somebody. I had that type of mind. But when I tell you, when I tell you, the Lord was like, I can take care of you far greater than any of those programs, than the time that you was selling dope and thinking you was doing something. I can take care of you greater. And when I tell you, I have never, ever even made in a corporate job over $50,000. Never. I never, ever made $40,000 in a corporate job. Never. So my husband's looking at me strange. Like, God told you to do what? You working at the post office, God told me to give all this stuff up. Well, how we gonna pay rent? I don't know, but he said we giving it up. As a matter of fact, we're not gonna pay rent. We're gonna buy a home. So he was just outdone. How was all this gonna happen? And at that moment, it didn't matter if he was my spouse or not. That spirit was trying to keep me, from seeing my way out of this. And it did not matter who it used. It really did not. It was trying to hold on, but I saw me owning a home and I saw God taking care of me. How? I don't know. I just saw he going to do it. And I saw we're going to get a house. And so the Lord began to have me do, um, I don't know who this Pa line is. Bless them, Lord. We're not going to even entertain the devils. I was, and I'm telling you, he been crunk. I ain't been called that word in a long time, y'all. So I'm just gonna act like I didn't see that comment. Period. I must keep it sanctified and saved. I am gonna keep it holy, and I'm gonna just block the person. I ain't been called that name in a long time. But nevertheless, we stick to the script here. Um, mm, yes, 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 yes. Ooh, sweet Jesus. Oh Lord. Okay, so I had to start, seeing what I saw before it even happened, and I saw God doing it. I saw Him um putting us in a house. I didn't even know what house. I didn't know where. I just saw that we were getting ready to own a home. I saw that I was getting ready to be taken care of by the Lord. I knew I was getting ready to come into a place that I had never been into because I had done something that I had never done. I just had to trust God on that, right? So we came out to Texas. Lord said, I want you to leave where you are, which means I had to leave all of the hand me downs behind. I'm gonna put you in this state, and I'm gonna take care of you. And that was in 2020, February of 2020. It makes 2 years, February the 5th, that I decided to trust God. Now, of course, I was working on my mindset. I had a mentor pouring into me. I was working on doing what I needed to do on my part with my credit. But when we got here, it was just like right at the peak of the pandemic. And my husband's like, we got this house. You said God said, I got a job, but it ain't gonna take care of everything. And I'm like, God said, He showed me. And so I had to seek God. What do I have that you have given to me on the inside of me that I could do from home? Because you said, don't go back to work. You told me to make sure I stay here and raise my children. So I need to know, what do I have on the inside of me that I could do from home, something that I love to do, because I'm not going to be doing anything that I don't love doing. We established that a long time ago. I'm not working another job. When I quit working in corporate America, that's the reason why I quit, because I hated the jobs and I only did them for a paycheck. So I vowed if I can't do what I love to do, then I'm not doing anything. So what can I do? What's on the inside of me that I could do and get paid for doing so? And first thing that came out is my story. First thing that came out is my story. And, some other things came to light. I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Now I know that God had given me gifts to braid hair, but I didn't like it anymore. I got burnt out on that because I never knew my value enough to charge according to my services. So I would sell myself cheap. I would do individuals, those little micros, 2-day job, literally, especially if they got a big head or if they pregnant, and they got to split the days up. That was my last job. It took 2 days because the young person was pregnant. And at the end of that, it's like, oh, yeah, let me just give you $50. This is all it's like, I'm done. Never again. So even though I love to do it, I've done it since I was a young girl. I I stopped doing it because I could not charge my value. Why? Because I didn't know my value. So I let a gift just die because I didn't know my value. That came up like you can do hair, and I was like, nah, I really don't want to do that. I've also had my own child care facility, World's Daycare. Um, so I had that, and I started that up, and I went through, hell and hot water, being a minority trying to start up a in-home daycares, but I did it, and it was very successful. And then I got ready to move from California to Missouri, and they told me all that work that I did to build up my daycare facility, none of it would transfer. And that crushed me because it took me 6 months to get every inspection, to make sure the sketching, the fire department, everybody, it, I put in grind, the marketing, making sure I was a part of the government uh, programs to receive, going to the colleges. It was just a lot. So that killed it. Just the thought of starting that all over again. And anytime that you moved, you have to do that process. So I could have moved to Missouri. I didn't know if I was going to like Missouri or not. I would have to, if I decided to move back to Kansas. And funny enough, we moved back in a year. If I was going to have to move back to California, then I would have to start it back over in California. So I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. And I absolutely love kids. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I also love to design. I love to coordinate, put things together. I wouldn't call myself an interior decorator, but I know how to do it. And I love it. I love to do it. And I was like, well, I could do that. I was like, no, I can't have all those chemicals, because I spray paint stuff. I take old things and make them into newer things, modern things, So I was like, no, I can't use that. I have chemicals, and I got the twins here, and they were born premature. I got to be careful about what I bring in the house. It's like, what else can I do? It's like, well, I know how to talk. I know how to talk, and I know how to encourage people. And I know that I am a lover, and I know that I love to help people. And I know that, I'm very compassionate, and I love to help others overcome. That's what I know how to do. It just flows naturally. That's something that I know how to do. And so the Lord gave me the blueprint on how to tell the story and how to help others tell the story. And he's like, well, this is, me and one of my good sisters. I came to her and said, this is what I feel like I need to do, what I want to do. And so we put it together. And in 1 hour, I was able to pay myself $12,000. Now, did I receive that upfront when I say I paid myself $12,000 in 1 hour? No, I didn't, but I had residual income. Because it's like, this is the cost of this program, and this is the monthly payments that you can get on. So I had residual income in 1 hour. I paid myself $12,000. I had never did that in my life. Working for a job, selling most drugs, doing the most. I had never did that. Never ever did that. And then when I got what I was getting, the Lord said, now I want you to learn how to invest it. And I had never knew what investing was ever. But I couldn't just, get there to that plateau. I had to keep growing. I had to keep growing. I wanted freedom. And then I started learning that money, well, we was never meant to work for money. And I became righteously indignated that everything that we have been taught, from the school systems to our environments, our well-meaning parents, have all been a lie. It has been a lie. And I was like, oh my goodness, we have been taught to work for money. And that is a lie. We were never supposed to work for money. Money is nothing but an exchange or currency exchange for a service rendered. That's it. You can't eat money. Money can't keep you warm. Money can't quench your thirst. Money can't talk to you. Money can't give you companionship. It can't take you nowhere. It could buy you a nice meal, but it can't buy a life. It could take you to a nice place, but it can't, be a place. It's just a tool. And we've been taught to use money as it's a master. You work for money. Going out there and work for money. Most people have been taught you work for money. And so as I begin to educate my mind and see how wealthy people have never worked for money, but that they make their money work for them, I got righteously indignated. I was absolutely upset about that. Because in school, that's what they teach you. Work for money, save money. That's what they teach you. But me and my husband had a debate early off in our marriage. Early off in our marriage. We had a debate about savings account. And I didn't know much about it, but from street knowledge, I said, look, I don't care how much money you think that you can save. You're never really saving money. Yes, you is. I'm like, no, you not. Well, what do you call that when you put in money into a savings account? You holding money. You're not saving money. And we had a debate. It was for hours long. I never forget it. And he didn't understand what I was trying to say. And I guess I wasn't understanding what he was trying to say. But at the end of the day, what I needed to let him know was that is a place where you put your money in there and you think that you're saving it, but something's going to take it. Something's going to get it. You're going to have a bill. You're going to have an expense. You might going to have an emergency. Something is going to happen that is going to deplete what you didn't put on hold. Is not savings. Savings is where you can actually save it up for a long period of time, go back to it way later. You never have to worry about it. A savings. But if you want to use biblical principles, what happened to the servant that was given the talents and he went and sat on it and saved it? He was called wicked and lazy. And that's what we've been taught to do. Save it. I mean, this could get really deep on tonight. And I want to keep it really, I don't want it to be too shallow, but I want to keep it midway. So I'm going to say this. When you go put your money in the bank, this whole system has been rigged to rip us off. Literally. The con man have gotten away with being a con man for forever. Because the only reason why they even created bank institutions is so that they can use your money to get wealth. How many of y'all know that when you have a scheduled maintenance outage, your money is being traded to pay their debts? And then their money come back into the bank and they can put your money back in your account, and then you can log on and you can see your money in there. How many of you guys know that? That those scheduled maintenance, that all the bank is doing is monopolizing with your money, using all the money of everybody in the accounts to pay their bills and then get their money in return from paying their bills or whatever loans, they pay loan fees and different things of that sort. They pay trust depositories, all of that sort. So they use your money. So you think you saving this up in here, but all they're doing is using it to play. And then they put it back in your account and let you borrow. That's why they charge you to use your money. Hello, somebody. They charge you to swipe your card. They charge you to pull money out of your account. They charge you. I mean, it's just all systemic slavery, literally. It's been a scam, a con game from the beginning. That's just like with work. And this is not to put anybody down that's working, because working will get you where you need to be if you work wiser and smarter. If you have a strategy, which you working, it'll work for you. And what do I mean? Well, I'm gonna work this job for 2 years, and then by this amount of time, I'm not saving this to retire off of this, because this ain't enough to retire me off of. But I'm gonna start putting money over here to hold for myself to invest in what I want to do in 2 years, and I'm gonna give myself 2 years to do that, and I'm gonna have the resources to be able to do what I want to do in 2 years. So it's just a goal of 5 years. But that's not nothing to live off of. If you I won't call it savings, I call it holding. Because something gonna come eat it up. Something gonna come along the line that's gonna deplete everything that you put in that account. And then you're gonna be starting over from the bottom. So that's not a thing you can go into and say, well, I need to get a little bit out right now, and then I need to get a little bit out right now, and it'll sustain you. That's not what that's for. So I had to learn about all of this. I had to learn about changing my mindset, because after I told my story, after that, it was like, okay, now I got to go educate myself even more so I can educate others. And that made my mind change. And the more that I heard all of the things that I had been surrounded by and the limiting beliefs and all of that, the more angry I got, righteously. Righteously. Like, wow, we've been screwed. I didn't have to live that life had I known this information. And I began to see myself out of poverty. I got out of poverty because I saw myself out of poverty. I got out of bad debt because I saw myself coming out of it. I'm in this house because I saw myself owning a home. I started a business because I saw myself starting one. It was too costly during the pandemic to watch them people play with people money. Debated for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whether they was going to give you $1,400. I got children. I would fail my family waiting on them. And none of them took a pay loss. None of their incomes was affected. And that was just too costly for me. So I had to do something. But not only when I did something, I had to keep growing. I had to keep growing. I had to keep elevating my mind. And I want to leave you guys with this before I get ready to get off of here. I want to pull up a story. I don't have my laptop. Hopefully this will work. I'm learning how to work this iPhone. It's an old iPhone, but I'm not an iPhone fan. I'm not an iPhone user. I'm just Android, I'm Android out. So bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up. If not, then I'll just have to recap the story to you guys. I think I'm doing something. Okay, so I don't have my laptop, so I got to search on this phone, but bear with me 1 second. Um, is it gonna let me? This is really weird. Let's see. Hopefully, okay, I think I can read it from here. So, this has been one of the most powerful scriptures of the Bible in my life because it talks about just how powerful your mind is and how powerful your thoughts are. And the reason why I'm talking about the mindset is because we will never get out of bed with lack. We will never get out of bed with poverty, with insufficiency, with I can't do it unless you first change your mind. You got to make it up in your mind. When you have a made up mind, can't nobody persuade you otherwise. Anybody like that outside of myself? When my mind is made up, it is completely made up. If I say I am going to graduate, I'm going to graduate. I went to medical school and my mind was made up to prove to myself, not nobody else. I don't even know why I got into medical school, but God does. He knew I needed to know the terminology when my son died so I can catch them in the act of killing my son. And so I know that's a reason, but maybe I know all is not lost, maybe it's for another reason outside of that. Nevertheless, I was determined in medical school to give myself honor roll because I never had honor roll. I never even had a graduation. I always fought. So for me to go over, I never had a kindergarten graduation. I got suspended. So I didn't graduate. I went on, but I didn't have a ceremony for first grade. Sixth grade, same thing. Started a riot. That was when Rodney King riots came out. So I started a riot. So I did not. I promoted to seventh grade, but I did not have a ceremony. And I did not graduate from high school either because I got pregnant at 16. And instead of me abandoning my child, even though the situation was through rape, I didn't graduate. So I was determined to give myself honor roll, and I was determined, I had my mind made up that anything lesser than an A was not acceptable because I knew that I can do it. And for 11 months straight, I never missed a day and I never got a B or a C. When I tell you I put my mind to it, I made the time with children. I'm doing my homework. Do not interrupt me. When I get done, I will come out and assist y'all. I'm going to make sure that you are all together before I go in this room. If you knock on this door, you're going to get in trouble. I'm not answering no honey calls, no baby doll, sugar calls, none of that. Don't come in here. And I was bent on that. If I had to go in my car and study, my mind was made up. It was determined that I was going to get an A. Have anybody else had a made up mind that I am going to do this, accomplish this, get this, have this, and nothing, not even the devil himself, was able to stop you. Anybody. I just want to make sure y'all still here. Anybody. Because if you ever had any of that, if you ever had an experience like that or your mind made up like that, if you can do it before, exactly. Thank you. Yes, we all have. Yes, we all have. And what's the difference between you having a mindset like that and then you having a limited mindset? Well, I can't do it, or I don't know what's going on. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. The difference is that you were determined then, and you didn't make no excuses. Wasn't nothing going to stop you? Nothing was going to stop you from accomplishing exactly what you wanted to accomplish. Why would we settle for a life that we don't want to live? Can I ask y'all that question on tonight? Are you happy with the life that you are living tonight? Are you happy with the life that you are living? I mean, 100% in every area, not just family, children. I'm talking about, are you happy? Do you have what you need to? Do you have peace? Is there people calling you, interrupting your peace? Is bills due right now that you don't know how you gonna pay them? Are you happy? Because if you not, why not? Because if you determine in your mind that I'm gonna be happy, guess what? There would be nothing that could stop that. You be throwing up all kind of block. Nope, 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 nope. No, I'm determined that I'm gonna be happy. You ever determined that today, devil, you ain't gonna steal my joy, and you don't let him? Anybody? Like he didn't just been dealing you blow after blow after blow after blow, and you didn't have quite enough that you say today is gonna be that day that you was not gonna steal my joy and you not gonna steal my peace. Why? Because you had a made up mind. Enough is enough. Users and abusers, we done all been surrounded by them. Nope, you ain't using me, not another other. I am on to you. I know who you are. Nope, it is done. And you put your foot down. I don't care if it's your children, right? They don't want to listen, but they want to come to you for help. Huh? And you say, I done told you over and over and over again. My mind is made up. You ain't getting another dollar from me. And you don't care how much they roll, snot, how much they pout, how sad you feel because you want to really, help them out anyway. You got to have a made up mind to say, nope, not this time. And the reason why you can go from saying yes or being used or saying, you know what, or letting the enemy break into you and steal your peace, the difference between that is that you made up your mind. So if you're not living the life that you want to live, why? Because you ain't made your mind up to change. If lack is in your life, you ain't made up your mind enough to say we done. And I absolutely mean that. We are done. We are absolutely done. Enough is enough. Whatever I gotta do, like when you're being bullied. I love using this analogy all the time. Because when you get done being bullied, baby, I don't care if you don't know how to fight. I don't care if they're 10 feet tall. You are going to windmill their stomach. You're going to windmill their kneecaps. You're going to windmill. You don't care what part of their body they get hit on. You hit in all parts because all you know is you ain't getting my money today. You ain't bullying me. You ain't beating me up no more. You ain't taking my food today. All you know that enough is enough. And you go ham. And then all of a sudden, you don't even know what you done did. You didn't went so ham because your mind is so made up that enough is enough, that I'm not going home getting a whooping because you done stole my stuff. I'm not going to have to be embarrassed embarrassed about the other kids telling me how I got my butt kicked. Enough is enough. So you didn't went berserk, right? You didn't black all the way out. You didn't went 5150. And when you come out of that, everybody looking at you like, you even like, man, I didn't know I had that. I didn't know I had that in me. And that bully over there all bloody and begging and screaming, leave me alone, stop. Listen, it's because your mind was made up. Am I helping anybody on tonight? Want to read the scripture before we go? Genesis 11. I'm going to read from verse 1 through 9. Genesis 11. I'm a kingdom financier, for those that are watching me. It's all about the kingdom. So I'm always read, my love letter. I'm always read my blueprint because it's the truth. It's the only truth. Every other truth is a lie. This is the truth. Genesis 11. And it came to pass as they journeyed or as they walked in our terminology from the east that they found a plain, they found a place, right? In the land of Shinar. So it gave specifics where they were at. They were walking through and they found a place, a resting place in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there, which means they sat down, took them a knee, took them a seat. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't start from one. Excuse me. Let me go back. Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Excuse me. The whole earth spoke the same language, spoke the same speech, right? It says, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto the heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Genesis 11:5 said, and the Lord came down to the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Now, what does that mean? Let me just break it down in our terminology for those who don't understand the vowels and the thithers. And, these men and women all spoke the same language. There wasn't no si habla español. There wasn't no oui oui. There wasn't no French. There wasn't. Everybody spoke the same language, and these people begin to journey and make their way through, passing through. And so they sat down and said, let us dwell here, right here. Find us a resting place and let us dwell right here. So when they sat down, they started having a conversation. Like it went a little something like this. Hey, y'all, you know what? We ought to build us a tower. We ought to build us a whole nation and leave us a name in the earth. That's what we ought to do. And as they was talking about it, I need y'all to catch this on tonight with two hands. As they was talking about it, as you can see here in verse number 3, it said, and they said to one another, they never had bricks and mortar. They was just talking about it. It said, and they said to one another, let us make some bricks and burned them thoroughly. It didn't say they went and got bricks. They said, let us make some bricks and burn them thoroughly. And then let us get some slime so we can put the bricks together and build us a city. That's all they was discussing. And then they said, yes, let us, with these bricks and this slime, build us a city and a tower that'll go all the way up to the top, so that we build us a name in the earth that can never be forgotten. And it said, and the Lord came down. Most people would think that the Lord came down to the earth to see what they had built. Most people hear this story and they visually in their mind see this brick tower being built and God having to come down and bust it up. That was not what happened. They didn't even have no bricks. They thought it in their mind, and what they thought, they began to build in the spirit realm. And the Lord had to look down on what they had built in their thoughts. That's why he said we better confuse their language, because if we do not, whatever they imagine to do, they will do it. That is why it says that. It said in verse 5, it said, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Build means we building it. Building means we're building it. Build it means it's already built. All they were doing was sitting down, talking, and because what they thought in their mind, it began to build. And God saw it building in the spirit realm, what they were speaking out of their mouth, because they were just thinking, hey man, look, we could build a tower that'll go all the way up to the heaven, and all we need is some bricks, and all we need is some slime for the mortar. Man, we can build this thing all the way up into the heavens. And God saw what they built. God saw what they built in a mind. That's why he says in verse number 6, behold, the people is one. They unified. And they all have one language. So they understand each other. And if we don't go down and do nothing right now and confuse their language, nothing will be able to stop them from what they have imagined to do. Imagined to do. They didn't do it. They imagined to do. If we don't change their language now and get them to not understand one another, whatever they think about, we will never be able to stop them. That's why it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Your thoughts is powerful. Your thoughts have the ability to put you in another plane, another realm, or keep you bound in a comfort zone. You get to pick and choose, because your mind will only focus on what it sees. If you see yourself sick, you're going to be sick. If you see yourself dying, you're going to die. If you see yourself getting COVID, you're going to get it. If you see yourself being wealthy, you're going to be wealthy. If you see yourself healthy, guess what? You're going to start being healthy. Why? Because I see it. I see me exercising. I see me losing the weight. I see me eating right. And you start doing it. Your body actually follows what your mind sees. Their body had not followed what they saw. All they did was saw it first. That's why the Lord said, hold up, wait a minute. They have the same mind that I have, because I created them in my image and my likeness. And if we don't stop them, now just think about some of the things that you done built in the realm of the spirit that you done thought about. You know, murderers who murder, thought about murdering. Nobody murders. I'm not talking about killing somebody. You try to come up on me and I had no other choice. I'm defending myself and you got killed in the process. But I'm talking about somebody that murders somebody. Nobody murders anybody without first thinking about. They can see it in their mind. During Halloween time, where do you think they get the designs for the pumpkins? They see what they want to carve out, right? You saw yourself riding that bicycle. When them training wheels came off, you saw yourself riding that bicycle. You saw yourself driving that car. You saw yourself getting that job. You saw yourself finishing that school. You saw yourself first. First, you saw it in your mind. And you know what's going to stop you? Your mind. Your mind. Now, this is not the end. That's why you got to see it first. I'm coming out of this situation. And when you start seeing it, your body will line up to what, because your brain works everything. In order for me to scratch my head right here that's itching, my brain got to tell my arm to scratch my head and tell my hand to go to exactly where the itch is. In order for me to use my phone, my brain got to send a signal for me to pick up my phone. My hand doesn't just pick up my phone by itself. My brain got to tell me to do that. My mind got to tell me to do that. If I'm going to come out of poverty, guess where it's going to start at? My mind got to show me. I got to see that it's possible. I got to see myself out. I got to see myself further than where I am. I got to see myself there. I got to see my bills paid. And guess what? Your bills will start getting paid. I got to see me eliminating negativity from my life. And guess what? I start eliminating negativity from my life. Now, if these men sat down and thought about building a tower, and it said that which the men had built it, whoo, they build it in their mind. Think about today what you built in your mind that you have in the physical, because it was built in your mind. Most people that get divorced, they see themselves get divorced. This ain't gonna work out. They never have to say anything to anybody. They mind in their mind. They constructing a plan in their mind. Things ain't gonna get better. This ain't gonna work out. I'm gonna get a divorce. And before you know it, y'all divorced. And now you looking for somebody else. Or waiting on somebody else, whatever the case may be. But you saw it first. You saw yourself moving. You saw yourself transitioning. You saw yourself trusting God. You got to even see it. Why? Faith comes by hearing. Hearing comes by the word of the Lord. What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things what? Not seen. Which means I got to see it in the spirit realm before I even see it in the natural. Because that's what faith is. Faith is the evidence of what I don't see in the natural. And it is a substance. Substance. People don't know. This is substance, water. This is substance. It's in a bottle. It's something tangible that I can actually open and take a drink. Faith is the substance of what I'm hoping for. And it's the evidence of what I don't see. So you mean to tell me that I can actually think about something in my mind, even though I don't see it, and use my faith to bring it to me? That is what God said. That is what faith is. I don't see it in the physical, but my faith can see it, hope for it, and bring it down here. You know, this big hype about what manifestation is, that's all manifestation is. And it's a sad shame that the world is using it in another way. But the body of Christ is talking about all that's witchy and that's that. I did a whole teaching on YouTube about manifestation. It's absolutely 1000% scripture that you can think a thing and make it manifest. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, I'm going to think this and pick this water up. That's witchcraft. Now, we're not doing all of that. Your thoughts actually manifest what you think on. That's why the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. As you think you are, so you are. If you think you fat, you're going to be fat. If you think I'm too skinny, you're going to stay skinny. Your mind is so powerful. Help us tonight, Lord. Your mind is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. And I never understood it until I literally, this is how I understood. I'll be like, what's the difference between people who survive cancer and don't survive cancer? My baby sister, and I don't talk about her a lot. I watched her die on live from cancer, 30 years of age. I'm like, what's the difference between people who survive and who don't? And it's their mind. They be like, and they be saying it, I'm going to kick cancers. You know what? I'm going to kick his butt. I mean, they are hell bent. I don't care what they say. I don't care what kind of treatments I got to go through. Whatever the case, I'm not going to succumb to this. And then you see the other one on the other side. They may start off real strong, but it's so tumultuous. Somewhere along the line, their mind start like, I don't know if I could do this. Start seeing them down. I don't know, y'all. I just feel so weak. I'm just praying and asking God, but they getting attacked in their mind. They being beat down in their mind. And then they start creating in their mind. I'm not going to make it through this. That's the difference between somebody willing to live and somebody that's just, I'm tired. That's going to be the same. The same the difference between the wealthy and the poor is the wealthy decided that they didn't want to be poor. They made it up in their mind that poverty is not something that I'm going to have. And poverty is not something that I want to take part in. The difference between me and poverty is that I divorced it. I don't want nothing to do with you. It does not feel good. Do poverty feel good to anybody? When you are limited to go and provide what you really need, and you got to say, well, I can't afford that, so I got to put that back. I can't get all my groceries because I don't got enough money. Man, what? So I got to compromise and manure just to eat. I can't go buy healthy food because I can't afford it. The devil is a lie. So I just got to eat junk food. No, and no, and no. Y'all know I get riled up. I ain't hollering at y'all. I just listen. That is unacceptable. You don't get to tell me what I get to eat. You don't get to tell me where I get to live. You don't get to tell me that I got to live around Boo Boo and Ray Ray them and all this pop, pop, bop, bop. No. You don't get to tell me that I got to live in an area where my stuff going to get broken into. I'm not going to have no peace. No, I will pay for peace. If that costs $5,000, I will pay for peace. And then they say, well, people just trying to live the high life. No, they trying to pay for what they want. They don't want sirens. They don't want gunshots. They don't want break-ins. They don't want that. So they will pay for it. And you know what? By all means necessary. They got their mind made up that they're not living nowhere else other than where they live in. So therefore, they just got to do what they got to do. Did this help anybody? I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I just wanted to know, did this help anybody on tonight? Poverty was a progressive. Because even though I had broke up with it, like I said in the beginning, even though I had broken up with poverty and I was done, but being ripped off, I still had some entanglements. That's how I know the enemy is highly upset. That's how I know the enemy is highly upset. Choking me for what? I'm coughing for what? Like, as much as I talk, my throat don't ever get dry. Okay, so I know you highly upset because now you want to aggravate me, But when we change our mind, we change our lives. I'm serious. Determined to never ever visit poverty. I'm determined to not have to tell my children, you can't have that because I can't afford it. Now, if I say you can't have that because you didn't earn it, that's something different. But to say you can't buy that, I can't buy that because, man, ain't no way in the world. I asked God for these children. There's no way in the world. And what I'm going to be doing, you guys, is I want to see who really ready. I have a challenge that's getting ready to come up. And I only want to work with people that got a mindset that I'm coming out. I don't care. Whatever it took me to come out, it took me. I did it. And I didn't ask no questions to God about it. It took me getting my paying to get my credit right. It took me disciplining myself. It took me educating myself. I needed to know what I didn't know. So I never ever returned back to that place. It took me educating myself. It took me investing. It took me from making my money be my master to making my money be my slave. I wanted to know what that felt like because my money was always my master. And when it was my master, I never had enough of it. I just had to keep working for it because I never had enough of it. But I needed to learn how to make my money be my slave. And once I learned that, I mean, it's just keep going, keep going, keep going. So I put together a challenge. Anybody up for a challenge? It's called a 10-day 1K. I could go big and show you how to get 10K in 10 days. But I'm going to start right where we at because we don't want to take you. I didn't go from poverty to prosperity. It was a process. And the only reason why it was a process because my mind. Had I went from poverty straight over to prosperity, I would have blowed it because I had the wrong mindset. But if you want to know how to take 100 and make $1,000 in 10 days, anybody want to join me on a challenge like that? It's $100 to join the challenge, but I'm gonna show you, spend time with you, and map together your 1K, just 1,000. Once you get that 1,000, we're gonna show you how to get 10K. How about that? Instead of just going from 100 to 10K. How many of y'all need 1K right now? Just 1K. It's a lot of people under attack, sister. Yes, it's a lot of people under attack. Lots of people under attack. And that's okay. That's an indicator. Bless God that the Lord told us ahead of time. This is testing. So a lot of us are being tested and shaken. And only what's of Christ gonna remain. So we still remain and praise the Lord. We still remaining. All right, say amen. Okay. Say amen. I mean, $100. I challenge you on tonight to show you how to take $100 and make 1,000 in 10 days. And that's gonna require you being a little bit uncomfortable because you're gonna have to do something you ain't never did before. Nothing strenuous, no paperwork or none of that involved. All you got to do, only paperwork involved is you signing up. And the reason why I'm not doing it free, because if I do it for free, I keep you in limited beliefs. The reason why I'm not doing it for free is because I keep you in that state. My job is not to keep you in that state. My job is to bring you out of it. Bring your mind out of it first. So I worked on your mind to get you who's serious enough to say, I want to come out of poverty, and I mean it. And I just need help showing me how to get out of it. Because I'm going to show you how you can make 1,000 in 10 days. And that's long. I made 12,000 in 1 hour. But I'm going to show y'all how to make 1K in 10 days. And then from there, I'm going to show you how to make 10K if you want to follow along. And no, this ain't something I done never taught. This ain't something I teach in my groups. Every time I show up, it's new. Okay. Because I have so many different varieties in my audience. So it's not every time I show up, it's something new. This is something new that I'm going to show you how to make 100 into 1,000, 1K in 10 days, 1K in 10 days. That's my challenge. Okay. So if you in, hit me up. We're going to be starting it shortly. I'm going to advertise it, promote it for a couple of days. I'm only going to allow 20 people. You know, I love working in small groups, small numbers. I feel like I can do it with them and then get another group. You know, that's just more doable for me. It's more personal, it's more relatable. I want to make sure that I transform you, not just inform you. So, every Friday, our prayer time is 12 hours, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please pray for us. God bless you. Our prayer only for billions and trillion spirits. It's our team mission. Hey, I touch and agree with you. That's kingdom. I touch and agree with you. May trillions and millions touch your hands and your bank accounts. I absolutely stand in agreement with you. And don't settle for nothing less than that. And don't believe for nothing less than that. And don't let nobody tell you that that's too much or your dream or your belief is too big. The devil is a lie. I'm touching and agreeing with you for them billions and trillions in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Okay. Your money is in your mind. Can I tell y'all that? Your money is in your mind. I just let you in on a secret. I share the scripture, how powerful your mind is. Your money is in your mind. What do you need? Yes. Small groups are better, but I'll be down to lock in the next week once I get settled. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Take your time. I'm just putting it out there. It's available for anybody that'll take the opportunity to just want to be able to work in a small amount of numbers. I know a lot of people that'll take a whole bunch of people, but I just want to make sure that you get it. Your money is in your mind. Okay. That's what I want you to know most importantly. Whatever you have need of, if you need to pay your rent, if you need to pay your bills, if you need whatever, it's going to be in your mind. You need somebody to help open up your vault so you can get on the inside of your mind. Sit down with me. Whatever we come up with, we gonna map it out. That's my new strategy. Let me give you the strategy so you ain't trying to figure it out. This is exactly what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is the strategy you take. Boom, after 10 days, I'm telling y'all, I know it works because I didn't been this route. I know it works because I didn't been this route. Okay. So I'm going to end with that. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. And I look forward to sharing more gems. It's from poverty to prosperity in our mind, in our life, in our beliefs, in our actions, in our money. Okay. In every aspect of our life, in our spirit. However, whatever there's lack, we're kicking it out and expelling it. And we are accepting prosperity in its place. And prosperity or prosperous just means to grow. That's it. Prosperous just means to grow. Prosperity just means that you're growing, you're flourishing. Okay. With that being said, God bless you guys. Good night. If you are interested, you must reach out to me. I'm not, I might do some ads, man. I might do some content. I don't know for sure. But I'm putting it out there now because it's not a part of my mastermind, my program. This is something that I can help people do, especially right now with all that's going on. And I don't want to focus on what's going on. I want to focus on what we're building. That's just the position and the stance that the Lord told me to. You watch, you pray, but you make movements as well. So I do see and I do know a lot that's going on, and everything has its time and in its place. And I will share those things, those updates, what's going on. Nevertheless, I don't want to watch what's going on and watch what they planning on doing to me. No, ma'am. No, sir. I'm gonna make sure while y'all planning, I'm planning too. Whatever y'all think that y'all gonna implement that's gonna tear down my family structure, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be one head up against the game, one head above the grain. I'm gonna be one step ahead. So with that being said, good night. I offer avail. Oh, the prophetic birthing chamber. The prophetic birthing chamber is getting ready to come up in about a week and a half. If you guys are needing deliverance, if you are needing direction, this is a prophetic platform. It's a birthing chamber. It's an incubator for you to get your breakthrough, for you to get your deliverance. So many people have come through here and been able to flourish in areas that they were bound in that they didn't have no clue. And it is a phenomenal experience to experience with others. God has some amazing things in store for us at each and every one. So if you are in need, God does something different. I love showing up to them myself personally because every single time he does something different in me. You can never pinpoint God and just boom, that's how he gonna move. Get comfortable. You will miss out on God doing that type of crap. Every time you call for something, I'm coming. Every time. Why? Because I know you want to do another work in me. I know you want to do something, and you peeling layers and taking me from faith to faith and from glory to glory. So we getting ready to do that. I know, and God does it quarterly, strategically. It's not something that's done often. It's done whenever the Lord says, "Yep, it's another. It's time to have another one." Too many of my people are bound. Too many of my people are struggling. This is number one reason why people can't move forward in relationships, can't move forward in business, can't move forward in ministry. They bound in areas, they got secrets. They ain't never told nobody. They struggling. They got masks that they wear for the camera and social media. While yet all and still they are broken to pieces underneath. So this is where you come to the hospital. And this is where you get healed. This is where your baby, you give birth to your baby. Whatever it is that God has placed on the inside of you, this is where you are free to do it. It is so phenomenal. So, um, yeah, you got a powerful message. Yes, yes, you did, Sister Nikita. Thank you for that. Word of mouth is always better than my word. So you do have people here that have been through it's virtual. It will be virtual. All you got to do is get your ticket. It's 33 people that are allowed in that. It's a um, 3 day, 33 people. It's that number of completion and activation. So, like I said, you do not want to miss that. You absolutely do not want to miss it. Not because I'm I'm overseeing it. It's really truly a God idea. He did it. He started it. He implemented it, and he shows up every single time. And what I love about it is he always ministers to his people. Always. Right where they are. So you guys, if you guys are interested in that, I will share the content. I have some content on my Facebook page. If you're following me on my Facebook page, I will post it in my community on YouTube and on Instagram. I will do the same. So if you guys are in on the challenge, the 1K and 10-day challenge, or you want to be a part of the prophetic virtual prophetic birthing chamber, then you guys reach out, let me know. Okay. With that being said, good night. Love you. And I will see you on the next episode, From Poverty to Prosperity. Now, let's see. Let's see. I could do this. All right.